occasion, we will learn about something new, something that is very related with our daily life. What is it about? It is about chance. The chance of an event will occur. Chance in math, it's probability. Let me repeat, it's probability. So what does the meaning of the probability? Probability is the likelihood of an event will occur. Let me repeat, probability is the likelihood of an event will occur. We will often use some vocabularies to learn about this probability. What are the vocabularies? The first one is impossible. Impossible means the event will not absolutely happen. Second, the word possible. Possible is the word to describe an event that may or may not happen. And the last word that we will often use is certain. Yes, it's certain. Certain is the word to describe an event that absolutely will happen. So, let me repeat, there are three vocabularies that we will often use for this probability topic. The first one is impossible. Second one is possible. The third one is certain. To make you more understand about probability, we can find it in our daily life. How to apply the three words impossible, possible, and certain in our daily life. We have several examples of event. The first event, I turn into a cat. I turn into a cat. What do you think the probability of that event will occur? When we will need to pick between these three words, impossible, possible, and certain, of course, the event I turn into a cat will be impossible. It will not absolutely happen now or in the near future. So, that event is one of the examples of the application the word impossible in probability. Second example of event. Tomorrow will rain. That event has the probability possible because tomorrow will rain. The event itself, it may or may not happen. It depends, right? The third example of event is the sun rises in the east. That event will have certain probability because that event will absolutely happen because every morning the sun rises in the east. To express the probability, we will use probability line. Probability line here, it lays in between 0 and 1. 0 to represent the impossible event, which that event will not absolutely happen, and number 1 to represent certain event gonna be happen because 1 is equal to 100% and that means that event will absolutely happen. So what's about in between 0 and 1 means in between 0 and 1 the event lays in the possible word. However, to get the exact probability, we usually use fraction. Fraction to describe the probability. What does it mean? Fraction is in probability, it means the desired outcome over the possible outcome. Let me repeat, desired outcome over possible outcome. To learn more about fraction in probability, we will do some activities. So, let's join me. Come on. I have coin here. Let's take a look. The one that has picture, we call it as head. The one that has numbers, we call it tails, right? So I have head and tails. So what's the probability when I throw the coin here, when I flip the coin here, the coin will land on tail. Let me repeat. If I flip the coin, what's the probability of getting tails after I flip the coin? Let's try flipping the coin. What do I have? It's tails, guys. So it's possible for me to get tail when I flip the coin. Oh, amazing. Let me try one more time. And now I got head here. What is the fraction? We have the desired outcome, which is tail here, and I have one tail here out of the possible outcome. The possible outcome, all the possibility that can come out. What are they? It can be head or it can be tail. So there are two possible outcomes. The fraction of flipping the coin to get the tail, it's 1 out of 2. It is also the same when I ask the probability of getting head on flipping a coin. It's gonna be the same. It is a half, or 1 head out of 2 possibilities, tail and head. It's also a half. A half is exactly in between 0 and 1, exactly in the middle in between 0 and 1. And therefore, to represent a half in probability, we call it as even chance. Now, I'm gonna throw a die. Here, I have a die. As you know, a die has 6 faces. And in each face, it has numbers from 1 until 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The question next, what's the probability of the dice land on 5 when I throw a dice? Can you guess what's the probability? Yes, the best word to describe this probability, it is possible to be happen. But how exact the possibility to get 5 when I throw a dice? Let's check. The first attempt I throw a dice, I got 2. Let's try several more. I got 4 for the second attempt. I got 3 for the third attempt. Oh, finally I got 5. So it is possible to get 5, but then how exact the probability to get 5 in this event? Let's try to state it with the fraction. The desired outcome that I want is the dice lands on 5. So I have 1 desired outcome. And I have 6 possible outcomes. What are the 6 possible outcomes? It may land on 1. It may land on 2. It may land on 3. It may land on 4. It may land on 5, of course. And it may land on 6. So, the fraction of this event is 1 of the desired outcome over 6 possible outcomes. Alright, let's have the summary of probability line. Impossible means it has 0% to be happen. So we represent as 0 in the probability line. And also certain has 100% the event will happen. And 100% equal to 1 in a whole number. So certain lays on the number 1 in the probability line. In between 0 and 1, we have possible outcome. That possible outcome, it depends on the probability that we can get. And to state the exact probability, we usually use fraction. Fraction in the probability means desired outcome over possible outcome. A half, exactly in the middle in between 0 and 1, and any event that has a half of chance or a half of probability, we use the word even tense. Any event lays in between 0 and a half, we state it as unlikely or less likely. The event that lays in between a half until 1, we call it as likely or more likely. That's it for today's lesson. Hope you enjoy my lesson. See you again in math session with Miss Novi. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.